Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another episode of MetroMania. For those who aren't aware, MetroMania is an ongoing 16 Pokemon Metronome-only double battle tournament to determine the MetroMania Champion, and this season has been all about Pokemon from the Galar region. If you're a fan of MetroMania already and you're ready for more, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go for 1,000 likes on this if we can. Hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode, and of course share this video with a friend. And as always, don't forget, use code ACE to save yourself some money on G Fuel. This is caffeine-free G Fuel hydration, strawberry lemonade, and ooh, it's just a bit refreshing, isn't it? Ooh, code ACE. Now, the quarterfinals are finished. We are now into the semi-finals. We are getting so close to crowning our MetroMania Champion. Just a couple more weeks to go. But of course, before we get into today's battles, let's have a look at the all-important brackets. Last week, Dragapult claimed its place in the semi-finals, securing our final bracket for the semi-finals after it took down Hatterene in a fantastic battle. Definitely go back and watch it. So our semi-finalists are Toxtricity, Grimmsnarl, Appletun, and Dragapult. We're going to find out our first grand finalist today as we see Toxtricity take on Grimmsnarl. Get bloody ready. So here we go. It's round one of Toxtricity versus Grimmsnarl for a place in the Metromania final. This is going to be absolutely incredible. I can feel it already. I'm so freaking excited. I love the semi-final part of Metromania is possibly my favorite bit because it's where the final takes shape. We've got Shiny Grimmsnarl starting things off with Clanging Scales, which is a great move to start off with. Is going to drop its defense by one stage, though. Does hit both the Toxtricity as well, so that's worth taking into account. A little bit of damage on each of those. And here is the regular Grimmsnarl, who's going to go for a Venoshock, which is obviously going to be resisted by the poison-type Toxtricity, so not a lot of damage there. Still could go either way. It's only turn one. Here's regular Toxtricity going for Octozooka, maybe hoping to drop the accuracy of that Shiny Grimmsnarl there. Decent chunk of damage, and of course drops the accuracy by one stage, which should help out Toxtricity as it goes through this battle. Here we see the Shiny Toxtricity is going to go for Stored Power, but it's Psychic-type move, so it doesn't affect the Dark-type Grimmsnarl. Unfortunate there for Shiny Toxtricity. Now it's over to Shiny Grimmsnarl. Turn 2 is underway, and it's going to go for Shadow Punch. Not bad at all there. Great chunk of damage on that regular Toxtricity there, and now over to regular Grimmsnarl with the follow-up. Going to go for Water Shuriken onto the regular Toxtricity there. So we're going to, how many hits are we going to get there? We got a critical hit on the first hit, though, and there's the second hit. And just the two hits there from the Water Shuriken from that regular Grimmsnarl. Over to Shiny Toxtricity, though, for sheer cold. Big balls play there. Didn't pay off. Didn't hit Grimmsnarl at all. Over to regular Toxtricity, who goes for Frost Breath, which is going to land on the Shiny Grimmsnarl there for a great chunk of damage, well, bringing it down to less than half its max HP with that critical hit there. This really could go either way. Both teams have a Pokemon with very good HP. Both teams have a Pokemon that are in the yellow, so it really could go either way for the first round. A Lick coming out from the regular Grimmsnarl onto the regular Toxtricity there. Doesn't get any paralysis on Toxtricity, of course. Only certain situations you can paralyze a Toxtricity. Here's Bubble Beam, though. In fact, I think Toxtricity, being an electric type, is completely immune to paralysis, but I'm pretty sure it can be Stun Spored. I'm not sure. Remind me in the comments. Here's Close Combat, though, for some nice neutral damage onto that regular Grimmsnarl from Shiny Toxtricity, who lowers its defense and special defense as a result by one stage apiece. Over to that regular Toxtricity there. What will happen here? We see Tackle coming out. Not the most effective move, but it still does a decent chunk of damage to the -1 defense Shiny Grimmsnarl there, so nothing to scoff at. Getting the first round win always seems to be a difference maker in Metromania. It certainly instills a bit of confidence there, I imagine. Here's a Teeter Dance from the regular Grimmsnarl there. Going to confuse everybody on the field, including its own partner, which is a risky, risky play, especially when your partner has quite low HP. But maybe this could be a turning point for Grimmsnarl here. Maybe this could be the difference maker. Here is, look at that confusion taking effect. Amazing. Over to Shiny Grimmsnarl. It ignores the confusion, though, and is going to go for an attack. Goes for Circle Throw. It will be resisted, though, by the Shiny Toxtricity there. So not a great deal of damage, but still damage nonetheless. Regular Toxtricity is confused, but is going to ignore it as well and go for the Metronome. What's its plan here? Going to go for Disable, which is a fantastic play, especially in a round like this. Disabling the Metronome of Shiny Grimmsnarl, so now it can't attack. It has to use Struggle, and it's going to struggle itself with 25% recoil damage on each struggle. 25% of its own max HP, we should point out, which is going to basically knock it out. High horsepower from Shiny Toxtricity onto that regular Grimmsnarl for a great chunk of damage there. Toxtricity may have round one in the bag here. if it's got one of the Grimmsnarl disabled, it's going to be very difficult for the Grimmsnarl team to mount some offense. Here's the regular Grimmsnarl, though, with a Hex, though, on which of the Toxtricity? On the regular Toxtricity there. It's a great hit from the Hex, and it takes down regular Toxtricity. So no more regular Toxtricity, only the shiny now. It snapped out of confusion, lucky for itself right there. What will it do in response? Going to go for Spirit Shackle, which is a ghost-type move, so it's going to be not very effective on that regular Grimmsnarl there. But it is enough to bring that Grimmsnarl down into the danger zone. Can't escape, but that doesn't affect this battle anyway. There's the confused shiny Grimmsnarl. No moves left. It is going to struggle. So we get some struggle damage. Great chunk of struggle damage on that shiny Toxtricity though, because of the defense drop from the close combat earlier. Shiny Grimmsnarl survives on basically 1 or 2 hit points. Regular Grimmsnarl going to start the next turn off. What will it do here? It's going to go for Grass Pledge, which is not very effective on that shiny Toxtricity, but it does bring it down into the danger zone. Only 19 hit points left. Here comes shiny Toxtricity, though. It is ready and raring to go. Gonna go for Spore, which it's gonna put the struggling Grimmsnarl to sleep. That's a very interesting play. It avoids taking that struggle damage now. So was that a well-placed Spore? I guess we'll find out as we see the next turn taking shape. What will happen? We know regular Grimmsnarl is gonna start this turn off, but what's it gonna do? It's gonna go for Hydro Pump. I mean, that's gotta be game. That's gotta be round 1. In the bag for Grimmsnarl. Hydro Pump on a 19 hit points Toxtricity. Down goes shiny Toxtricity. 1-0 to Grimmsnarl. Toxtricity needs to equalize. It needs to mount some offense now. It needs to go all out. It needs to go hammer. It needs to do something to stay in this competition. Grimmsnarl can literally smell the finals from here. And it's all up to Toxtricity to be the difference maker on that road to the final. We see shiny Grimmsnarl starting off with a Scratch, which, you know, won't do a great deal of damage, but it's chip damage nonetheless onto that regular Toxtricity. Over to regular Grimmsnarl, and it will go for Agility and increase its speed, although it's got Prankster. So the only thing it's doing with Agility is making sure it moves before its partner. So I don't know how much difference that's going to make, but that's the kind of opening mistake, I guess, that Toxtricity needs. Here's an Inferno from the regular Toxtricity there onto the regular Grimmsnarl for a great chunk of damage there for turn 1, and gets the burn, halving the physical attack of that Grimmsnarl and basically putting that Grimmsnarl on a timer. Here's shiny Toxtricity with Tar Shot. Now, if it would have used Tar Shot, and that's on the regular Grimmsnarl, so indeed, if it would have used Tar Shot before the regular Toxtricity, that would have absolutely decimated Grimmsnarl, because of course Tar Shot not only lowers your speed but also makes you vulnerable to fire type moves. I wonder if there'll be any more fire type moves going forward. Here's that regular Grimmsnarl, though, who is going to go for Gunk Shot, which is it's avoided by Toxtricity. I'm going to say it's not very effective on Toxtricity, but if you don't hit it, it's not effective at all. Here's Fusion Flare from the shiny Grimmsnarl. Oh, there's another fire type move, I guess. Fusion Flare onto shiny Toxtricity there for a great chunk of damage as well. And over to shiny Toxtricity to maybe offer a little receipt there. What are you going to do? Go for Imprison. Oh, my word. Speaking of receipts, it's sealing any moves that its target shares with it, and of course, that means it's removed the metronome from one of these Grimmsnarl. Here's a Fury Cutter, which is neutral damage from regular Toxtricity onto shiny Grimmsnarl. There's the burn damage. Which of the Grimmsnarl? Is it both the Grimmsnarl that are going to be affected by Imprison, or is it just one of them? Regular Grimmsnarl is struggling because it's got no moves left, so barely any damage at all, but 25% of its max HP comes off as recoil damage there. Shiny Toxtricity is going for a move. It's going to go for Dazzling Gleam, which is going to be super effective on both these dark types. Great damage there, takes out regular Grimmsnarl. Shiny Grimmsnarl, of course, now down to less than half its max HP. What will it do? What is it doing right now? Did it use a move? Lava Plume from regular Toxtricity is going to do damage to shiny Toxtricity and the shiny Grimmsnarl there. Burns its partner, but also burns the Grimmsnarl, so not too bad at all. It is, Imprison does affect both of them. Thank you for confirming that. There's 25% of the max HP. It's in Burn Rage, so it doesn't even matter that Toxtricity burned its partner, because Grimmsnarl is going to succumb to the burn damage, and Toxtricity is equalized. If it can have a round like that again, it is going to the final. So we need to find out who's going to the final right now. Is it Toxtricity? Is it Grimmsnarl? Because both teams have proved they have a claim to a place in the final. They have what it takes. They have the ability to take their team to the next level, to the final of MetroMania Season 7. What are they going to do? Here's Smokescreen coming out from Shiny Grimmsnarl. You can't damage me if you can't hit me, is what Shiny Grimmsnarl is saying. So Shiny Toxtricity takes an accuracy drop by 1 stage, and over to the regular Grimmsnarl now, maybe to start the offense? Yes, it's going for Vicious Rend, my word, and because it moves first, that's 170 base power, oh my word. Taking 110 hit points off that regular Grimmsnarl there. Snipe Shot fails because it's a Metronome Battle. Snipe Shot? Very James Bond. Snipe Shot can only be used by, what's it called? Inteleon. Neutral Brick Break there onto Shiny Grimmsnarl from regular Toxtricity. My absolute word. Vicious Rend on turn 1 is insane. Here we see Shiny Grimmsnarl getting itself prepared. What's it going to do here? It's going to go for Extreme Speed onto which of the Toxtricity there? Onto the Shiny Toxtricity for a great chunk of damage. My word. And now it's over to regular Grimmsnarl. What's it got in mind? Going to go for Sweet Kiss onto which of the Toxtricity there? Onto the regular Toxtricity. So that Sweet Kiss is going to ensure that Toxtricity is confused. Will it hit itself? I guess we're about to find out. Shiny Toxtricity, though, is going to move before its partner and go for Amnesia and increase its special defense. I mean, I think you should go on the offense right now. You need to take down one of these Grimmsnarl if you're going to go anywhere right now. Regular Toxtricity is, of course, feeling the effects of confusion, but is going to ignore it for the moment. Is going to go for the Metronome and is going to go for Fell Stinger, which is a bit overconfident, I guess. Dealing a little bit of chip damage there to Shiny Grimmsnarl. Any damage is better than no damage, but when you're in the semi-finals and you're in the final round of the semi-finals in the Metromania, you want to bust out the big guns. Here's a Seismic Toss, though, for a guaranteed 50 damage onto the... I mean, I would call that a mistake onto the Shiny Toxtricity there because you could have eliminated the regular Toxtricity, but who am I to question your strategy? Here's a Fusion Bolt, though, which it won't be very effective from Shiny Grimmsnarl onto which of the Toxtricity? They're both at quite low HP, though. Onto the Shiny Toxtricity, doesn't quite take it out. My word, but it was certainly strong. Puts it in the danger zone. Shiny Toxtricity, though, is going to respond with Purify, which is going to fail. That's a shame right there. Here's the regular Toxtricity, who is going to ignore Confusion once again. Getting very lucky with the Confusion there. Going for the Metronome. Going to use Accel Rock on the Shiny Grimmsnarl there. Bringing it down to less than half its max HP. But the Grimmsnarl team are looking very good right now. They're looking very confident. Regular Grimmsnarl is here, is ready, and is going to go for Horn Attack onto which of these Toxtricity? I don't think it matters. Onto the Shiny Toxtricity, takes it down. We're down to 1 confused Toxtricity versus 2 Grimmsnarl. Where is this going to go from here? We're getting Fissure avoided by Toxtricity, who snaps out of Confusion. Very lucky there. Avoided a 1-hit KO. Goes for Metronome, goes for Water Gun. It's not a very powerful move. Doesn't do much damage at all there to that regular Grimmsnarl. Toxtricity needs to avoid these Grimmsnarl as much as possible because this is looking very, very dangerous for Toxtricity. Here's the regular Grimmsnarl, who's going to go for Bolt Beak. 170 base power Bolt Beak. Amazing. Down goes Toxtricity. My word. And your winners going to the final is the Grimmsnarl team. Well done to Grimmsnarl. What a fantastic show of strength from these two. Amazing. The underdog that should have never even made it all this way, Toxtricity, finally succumbs to big, bad, dirty Grimmsnarl, and unfortunately, we say goodbye to Toxtricity as Grimmsnarl secures its place in the final. Toxtricity was using some of the oldest tricks in the Metromania book, using things like Disable and Imprison to basically try and make Grimmsnarl struggle itself to death, and it just wasn't quite enough, especially in that last round with Vicious Rend and Bolt Beak absolutely decimating poor little Toxtricity. So as I said, Grimmsnarl moves on to the grand final of Metromania Season 7, but we need to find out who Grimmsnarl's opponent's going to be, and we'll find that out next week as Appletun takes on Dragapult. So that'll do it for another episode of Metromania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel during these horrible times by pledging to Patreon, it's down in the description, all that jazz. Use code ACE as well to save yourself some money on G Fuel. That also helps out the channel. But until next time, I'm Ace Liam. Keep on training.